to the one who knows exactly how heavy it is to carry hopelessness around with you, with nowhere to ever put it down. I see you. I get you. I know you. I hope you get some time in this life to know how it feels to finally lay it down and be free from that. I am rooting for you. Hello my friends, welcome back to Epoxy Me That. How are you? I hope doing okay. And I want to thank you for showing up today. Today is Coasting Through the Week, Coaster Wednesday. And this is a collaboration between two other artists and myself. That's Resin Me Up and Marvelous Artsy. We get together on Wednesdays and have some fun making coasters out of coaster molds. It can be a coaster any kind of way, made with any kind of coaster mold. And if you have a resin channel and you'd like to join, we'd love to have you and share some of your creativity. Now I was out last week. I didn't get to create because we had a storm run through my town and it cut our power lines. A tornado came through and swept out several of our power lines. Well, not several, quite a lot of our power lines. So we didn't have power. So I didn't get to join last week. So I'm going to pick it up right here this week. And I'm going to be creating in these two coaster molds right here. And I have placed some acetate sheet. And I cut it from these two pieces of acetate sheet. This is the circular one and this is the octagon shaped one. And here are the sheets that I used. They're just colored acetate sheets. They're made by Creatology, and I get these from my local Hobby Lobby store. So I've just cut them out and placed them inside of my coasters here. Now we're going to be pulling them out of there when we place the resin inside, but I just have them in there so I don't lose them. I don't know if you all have ever seen some of those cute little home decor pieces. You put a tea light behind them, and then when you turn the tea light on, it lights up the scene on the front of them. Well, that's what I'm going to try to create here. I have this little fairy mold here, and I don't know if you can really see it, but she's laying across a mushroom right here. And then here's an umbrella. So I thought we would, this will be the bottom of our piece, and this will be the top, so we'll place it on there like that, and we will put her on the front with the umbrella, so it'll be sitting like that, and then she's going to go on the front here. And then the back here, I don't have a tea light candle mold, so we're going to make one. I have this little lid right here that goes to one of my jars, and then this is a plug that I make all shapes and sizes of plugs. We're going to place that down into there. And then we're going to make our own tea light holder. So the tea light is going to sit right there. And then this will sit right here. Kind of like that. So if you want to see how I get on with this, kick back, relax, and let's get to it. I have picked out several of the Let's Resin chameleon powders. These are two different sets here that you see, or maybe three, I don't remember, but I've picked out my colors here, and I have golden, olive, teal, plum, violet, and blue. Okay, I'm going to start off with the mushroom down here. It has a tiny flower in it, and I'm going to get that first with this tiny brush here using the plum. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing okay. And then there's something else right there. I don't know what that is. So we're going to go ahead and get that too. Okay. Now for the mushroom, I want it to be gold. I'll put y'all down a little bit further so you could see a little bit better. Okay, this isn't going to be easy because I can hold it up to the light and I can tell where her head, her arms, and her leg is at. But I'm not quite sure what this area is. I can't make that out. So, if all else fails, we just have to make the piece over. But I'm going to give it my best at what I think it is. It kind of looks like maybe the background. So I'm going to go ahead and do her body. I want her body to be in the olive color. So I'm just going to clean this brush right here. And then we're going to go ahead and do her body. Now I want her wings to be different colors. So we're just gonna start brushing colors in there. Okay, I brushed a little gold right here, and I think maybe it looks like that might be part of her hair too. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that gold. I could be wrong. But it looks like her hair is coming down and over the mushroom. But I don't know. I'm telling y'all, I could be wrong. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead. I think this is part of her wing right here too. Okay. Now, her dress or whatever she's wearing is what we have left. And I'm going to do it in this violet color. Maybe we'll put a little bit of blue in it too. Maybe a little pink too. Make her wings match her. I hope I'm getting this right, you guys. Okay, now I want the flower here. I want the center of the flower this color, the teal. So I'm just going to do a few petals in the center, the teal. Right like that. Let me get a few more. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to do the rest in this right here. Okay, now I'm just going to take a cotton swab with some alcohol on it, and I'm just going to clean around because that's part of the umbrella. Get up here. Okay, now I've got all of the flowers. Now I'm going to do the umbrella and the part where you hold it in gold. I've got the resin on the turner, mixing our resin. So I'm just going to take the grape here, and I'm just going to brush it into this mold. And this is going to be our tea light holder. Okay, I've got my resin here, and it's the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. It has a part A and a part B. Part A is your resin and part B is your hardener. And I mixed up 2 ounces of A and 2 ounces of B, stirred them together for 5 minutes in my dual head Resiners epoxy mixer. Now, I'm not going to put any color in this, because if we was to put black behind this, which would make the chameleon powders really pop, then it's going to, when we put the light behind it to shine through our fairy here, then you won't be able to the light won't shine through her if we put black behind her. So we're going to leave her clear. All of this is going to be done in clear epoxy resin. Now we are going to be adding some glitter to it. And for our coasters here, we're going to put some raindrops in it. And I don't know if they'll really show up, but I'm pretty sure they will. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our coasters here. And I'm just going to take the acetate sheet out right quick. And I'm going to run some more tape through there just in case there's something in the coaster. I always like to do that before I pour my resin, just to make sure there's no debris in there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pour some resin in there. Then I'm going to stop. And then we're going to sprinkle some of these in there. Not a lot, just a few. And then I'm just going to move them around in there. Kind of space them out a little bit, so they're all not in one spot. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and place our acetate sheet on there. Right like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour the resin over it and fill the coaster up. Alright, that one's finished. Now I'm going to do this one the same way. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and fill in our fairy here with the resin. Okay, now I'm going to stop there and make sure I have enough resin in here before we put a little bit in here. Okay, she's going to need a little bit more. I'm just making sure the resin gets in every part. Okay. Just a little bit more, just a few drops. She don't need much more. All right, oops. Now we're going to put a little bit in here before we add. We're going to let the resin cure in here before we add the plug. I made just enough resin. All right, I'm gonna go put this in my pressure pot, and then I will meet you back when it's time to place our plug in here and fill the resin up, and then we'll be ready to demold. See you later. Let's go ahead and demold these pieces. I did notice that my my acetate sheet, it came out a little bit right there, but that's no big deal. We can fix it. And then I noticed that my little piece right here, do y'all see the bottom of that? I have never, ever seen one of my pieces come out of the pressure pot like that. Now, I've never placed a shallow piece like this in there. So I don't know if that's just little air bubbles on the other side that are not in the resin. I won't know until we demold it, but either or, it can be fixed. I've just never seen it do that before. And I didn't turn my pressure pot up really high either. I only had it on a 45, so 45 psi. So I usually have been running it at 50 here lately. I don't know if that has something to do with it. But let's go ahead and demold these. And I hope that acetate sheet is not going to take away from her. We're just going to have to see. I thought it would be really pretty. And we can see our little raindrops. I don't know, it may work out. And then here's this one. I love that acetate sheet in there. I think it's so beautiful. And then this is going to go like that right there. And then this will be back here. And then she'll be on the front here somehow. So that's how it's all going to work. Let's see what this looks like poured clear. It's still a little flimsy, but it is fully cured. And there she is. Let's see. Get it on there. Just right. Isn't that pretty? And I think once the light gets behind it, it'll be even prettier. And then let's get this off of here. I got a little trimming to do on these two pieces, but not much. Because I think this mold wasn't very level. I know my table and my pressure pot is level, so. Alright, I'm going to have to be really careful getting this out because it's really, really flimsy. And I don't want to break it. And there's our umbrella. I think it turned out beautiful. I mean, I love black behind chameleon powders, but I also love the look of them with just clear resin behind them. They are beautiful both ways. Now we have to see how we're going to work this on there. I think that would be cute. What do you think? You think that's pretty right there? I want it to hang off just a little bit. See, it's not hanging off much, just a little bit. Or we could just play around with it a little bit. See where we like it at the best. I don't know, I just really like it right here. Let me know what you think. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take it off so it can fully cure. And then we'll go ahead and pour. We'll go ahead and put our plug in here and pour this. So I'll get some resin mixed up and then I'll meet you back. I've mixed up my resin here, and it's the Bond Crafter epoxy resin that we use to do all the other pieces with. Now we're going to go ahead and take our silicone plug here, and I'm just going to take some tape, and this is just some Scotch heavy duty tape. That's what I like to use. I buy a box of it from Sam's because it's cheaper that way. And I'm just going to run that tape around my silicone plug to get any debris off of it. And now we're going to go ahead and place it down into here and get it, try to get it just right. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to spritz a little bit of alcohol in there. And that's going to help with the bubbles forming on the edges and the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour. And hopefully this will give us a nice tea light holder. Trying to let it settle so I know where to stop. Okay, I think that's perfect. I'm going to take my heat gun and run it around there, pop any of those surface bubbles. And then we'll spritz a little bit more alcohol on it to pop any of those surface bubbles. And then I will meet you back when it has fully cured. See you later. I mixed up some of my Bond Crafter tabletop epoxy resin. Tabletop resin is best for top coating and doming. It's a little bit thicker and it cures faster. So what we're going to do is, I think it would be easier if we went ahead and put our tabletop epoxy on here and get our fairy here and the umbrella cured onto this coaster. And then when that cures, we will go ahead and put another top coat on this piece and put the two pieces together. And then our piece right here should be finished by then. And since we are top coating this right after we demolded it, we don't have to do any sanding. So let's go ahead and let me make sure. I think that's the side I wanted to. Yeah. I'm going to use that side. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a little bit of this on there, right where that fairy's going to go, just so I can get some of it underneath her. And it won't slide off of the mold here. Hopefully it won't. I didn't put any underneath that, so hopefully it won't slide off of there on that side. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add some more right here with my stick. There we go. And now I'm going to add a little bit right here. And let's go ahead and put our umbrella. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in the coaster. And I'm just going to grab this little silicone tipped brush here and go ahead and walk the resin to the edge there. Now I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to move it on the top here just a little bit to pop those surface bubbles. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cover it, and we will come back in about 10 minutes and spritz it with a little bit of alcohol, because if we spritz the alcohol on it now, alcohol makes resin run really fast when it touches resin. So we don't want to break our surface tension and roll our resin off the edges. So we're going to wait about 10 to 15 minutes before we spritz it with alcohol to pop those bubbles on the top. So I will meet you back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, let's look at our piece. It's fully cured and it turned out beautiful. Look how you turn it to the side and you can see the fairy on the side. See that? You can see it when you turn it to the side. It makes a reflection in this acetate sheet. See right there? Isn't that neat? It even looks cool from the back. Okay, so now we're going to take this stuff right here, because y'all know I'm extra, so I gotta be extra. And I think this would be beautiful if we, well, I've already trimmed this piece right here. I trimmed a line of it off to make it 3 rows instead of 4. So I'm going to take my Decor rhinestone glue here. You cure this with a UV light, and I'm going to bring this around the edge of our piece here, and I think that will be gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to put you on a time lapse while I do that. Okay, now our glue is fully cured and it looks really pretty. I love it. What do you think? Do you like it? Alright, now we need to get our plug out of here and demold our candle holder, our tea light holder. And yeah, it had some kind of little, I don't know, it's not bubbles, it's indentions. Isn't that weird? Oh well, I'm not worried about it because it's going to be resined onto there anyway. Or I might not resin it, I don't know. I will, here's our extras too with that resin. And I don't know if y'all remembered when I put the blue in these, this mold right here. So I went ahead and filled the back with the my mother's of pearl. So let's go ahead and demold. I made this mold right here and I think it's the cutest. Look at those little flip-flops. Aren't they cute? And then we'll put like a little rhinestone in the middle of that flower, and then put some stickers on the back and maybe one on the front. Yeah, they'll be so cute. And then I made some little hats. I just dusted the rim with some chameleon powders. And there's, oops, there's that one. Aren't those hats the cutest? Well, that's our tabletop resin going off. And there's that one. I need to clean the little edges up there. And then that one. While I was waiting on my tabletop epoxy to finish, I took these little tiny stones here, rhinestones, that came in this bag right here from Hobby Lobby. They're glass flatbacks, and they're my favorite rhinestones to use. And I took some of them and I placed them strategically throughout the umbrella. Not everywhere, just a few to grab your attention. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I think I am done jazzing this up, blinging it out. So we're going to go ahead and put this tabletop epoxy on here. Now I'm going to put you on a time lapse while I do it, but I'm going to let you know, explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put that tabletop epoxy on here, and then I'm going to place this right on top there. That my screen is letting these little bugs in here because they're attracted to my lights. I still haven't got my screen fixed. It's been so much going on. So then I'm going to just place this right on the back of there, on top of that epoxy, and let it all just cure. But what I'd like to do on top here, it has a little tunnel there, a little ditch, have you? And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take some of this resin here. I don't know if I can hold it while I do it, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to drop it down in that little ditch, or that little area right there. And I'm not going to put a lot, just enough. And then I'm going to place some of these bubbles, which are going to be raindrops, on top of there. These right here, we put them throughout the coasters. And I'm just going to place them right on top there. Alright, and that's how it looks. And now I'm going to get you on a time lapse. I'm going to go ahead and get this domed with tabletop epoxy and get our beautiful piece put on there. And I'll put you in a time lapse for that. See you on the other side. Hello my friends, are you ready to take this cover off and look at our piece? Here we go. And here it is. Now I did have this little peg propped up on it like that, but about 2 hours into the curing process, I came and removed the little peg, checked to make sure I didn't have any bubbles or anything, and then recovered it. And then here we are. And one of my subscribers made this pig for me and sent it to me, and I think it's so cute. And it sits right over here, so I look at it every day. And I have several of them over here. You don't see them, but I see them. Okay, I love how the crystals turned out on our umbrella there. See them sparkling, just dancing? And I just added a few, you know, not many. And I love the raindrops inside. I just love everything about this little piece here. Now, if you have a birthday coming up for one of your friends, co-workers, doctor, dentist, nurse, friend, whatever, and you don't have a gift, or you would rather make a gift for them so that it means more. I don't know about you, but that's me. If someone makes me something with their hands, that means more to me than anything you could ever give me. So, and a prayer. Yes, I'll take a prayer over anything. But I think this turned out super cute, and this is just a fun way I wanted to share with you a creation that you can make out of coaster molds. And it turned out so cute. Now I'm going to grab a little tea light, and we'll turn the lights down and take a look at it and see if it looks really pretty with a tea light behind it. And I also want to share with you my dental experience at this last clinic was wonderful. It was the best dental experience I've ever had in my entire life. I felt so comforted and assured through the whole process of getting my tooth extracted. And y'all know how afraid I am of the dentist. And the lady that was the dental assistant, she was a true gem. She had the kindest eyes and the most beautiful face. And just looking into her face while the dentist was just pulling in my mouth comforted me, along with the gas. I did get the gas, you know. That could have made her face even more beautiful, you know. But I noticed that she had these cute little elephant earrings on. So I knew that she liked little delicate earrings. And I went out and about to find some little tooth earrings. And I found these little guys. So I just cut the little post off of them, dropped them down in my silicone, and made me a little tooth mold. So I'm going to make her some cute little earrings. And I thought I'd share that with you. And I also purchased this tooth mold right here. It was a couple of dollars. You know, didn't cost me much. And I'm going to decorate these teeth up right here. I'm probably going to do two, a girl and a boy, and make something cute for the dentist. So maybe she can set it, you know, in the dentist office somewhere. So if y'all would like to see me create this, then let me know, and I will include you in on the make of it. All right, let me go grab a tea light. Okay, anytime I do a piece with a tea light, I like to show y'all this kit that I purchased probably 2 years ago off of Amazon. These are the best tea lights I've ever owned. They come with a remote, and you can make them flicker. You can make them, you know, stay solid. They even have, like, I think 3 or 4 different brightness to them. And I think they were probably around... I'll try to find them on Amazon and see if they still have them. And if they do, I'll link them in my description box. But they're really cool. You just take them and you charge them. They have this little nifty charger in here where you can charge every one of them at the same time. You just, you know, plug every one of them. I'm not going to do all of them, but all of them have a place here on the cord. And then you just plug this into your box, and then they all charge at the same time. I don't know if they need charging right now. Let's see. It came on, but I don't know. I haven't used them in a while, so I hope they're going to be bright enough. Oops. Over here messing all kinds of stuff up. Okay, let me dim the lights and we'll see. Okay. Let's get it turned on. I got it turned on. And then, let's see here. That's blinking. I'm trying to find the flicker. There we go. It's flickering like a real flame. It's not real dark in my craft room because the window. But I think it's beautiful. Let me go see if I can get in a darker place in my house. I'll be right back. Okay. I think it turned out so pretty. Look at that. Now let me get the flicker. That's the one I like. Now it's flickering like a real flame. Isn't that beautiful, my friend? So pretty. I love it. Let's look at it from the other side. No. Can't really see it. But it turned out so beautiful. So beautiful. Alright, I'll meet you back in my craft room. Alright, I am back in the craft room. So what do you think about this, my friend? Let me know in the comment section below. And what would you have done differently? And also, you do not, I cannot stress this enough, you do not want to miss my video on Friday. It's going to be so much fun. And the make is stunning. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to give you another hint. I'm going to give it away to my subscribers that are in my blessings machine. Now, you're going to have a choice, because I know that not everybody does resin. I do have a lot of subscribers that just watch my makes and they don't do resin. They just enjoy watching the process for whatever the case may be. So, I'm going to have two different options for the winner. You're going to be able to choose a box of goodies for resin or the make from Friday. Whichever one you would like to have, you're going to have a choice. And I did that so that whoever wins will get something that they enjoy, because I don't want to give a box of resin items to someone that can't do resin, you know? That's not fair. That's not right. I want whoever wins to really enjoy the item that they get. Okay, so that's why I'm going to have two options. So, you don't want to miss that on Friday. And if you're not in my blessings machine drawing, that's okay. You still don't want to miss my video on Friday, because the casting that I made, that came out of the mold, you guys, it's stunning. Alright, and it's about that time, my friends, for a sweet goodbye. And I will see you on Friday. God bless you. Goodbye, my friends.